Vladimir Putin is facing expulsions of more than 100 suspected Russian spies after countries rallied behind Theresa May's firm stance against the Russian president. UK accuse Russia of the military-grade nerve agent attack in Salisbury, leading to the US and 25 other countries to expel embassy officials home in the biggest collective expulsion of Russian intelligence officers in history. The former Foreign Secretary, Sir Malcolm Rifkind, claimed the Russian president would be embarrassed by the response and the Russian people would be frustrated. Sir Rifkind said, "I think Putin will be embarrassed. I think the people of Russia will be embarrassed." Getty of Russia President Vladimir Putin has been humiliated. According to Sir Malcolm Rifkind, they are not stupid, they will know perfectly well what Putin has been up to. If it is successful, then they are quite often quite pleased. That is the nature of their response. This hasn't been successful. What they have done is possibly killed, certainly severely injured 2 people, in exchange for they have been humiliated by the rest of the world for their behavior. The Russian public quite rightly are proud people. The fact that their president is acting a bit like a criminal thug in this particular respect does not make people feel that Russia is getting the respect it does deserve as a country, even if the president and the Kremlin are forfeiting any right to respect in regard to his own particular behavior. Sir Rifkind also added in his interview with Talk Radio that he thought President Putin would not back off. "I think Putin will be embarrassed. I think the people of Russia will be embarrassed." Sir Malcolm Rifkind, he said, "Putin is a complete opportunist. He is not an ideologue, he is not a maniac. He is an ex-KGB man. He thinks very hard what can he get away with." Theresa May welcomed the great solidarity from our friends around the world in standing up to President Putin's regime. "Together we have sent a message that we will not tolerate Russia's continued attempts to flout international law and undermine our values," the Prime Minister said. Mr. Putin's government hit back by describing the expulsions as a provocative gesture and hinted about a quick response. The Russian Foreign Ministry said, "This provocative gesture of notorious solidarity with London, made by countries that preferred to follow in London's footsteps without bothering to look into other circumstances of the incident, merely continues the policy of escalating the confrontation." The comments come as President Putin faces pressure from the Russian public following a fire of a shopping mall in Kemerovo that killed at least 64 people. Russian citizens took to the streets in Moscow and gathered together at Pushkinskaya Square in protest at the Russian president. Signs being held up demonstrated the clear distrust between the city's people and its leadership.